Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, get ready because today we are diving deep into the brand new 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RX.
Yeah, this one was pretty serious.
It really does. Our main source today is an article called 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RX, the ultimate street performance machine. Just came out May 13th, 2025.
Hot off the press then.
Exactly. And our mission for you listening is to really pull out the key stuff you need to know. We want you to get up to speed fast, what's important, what's maybe surprising, and how Triumph's blended all this performance, tech, and, well, style. I'm honestly really keen to get into this.
Me too. And right away, that title jumps out. Ultimate Street Performance Machine. Triumph isn't messing around here.
No kidding.
They're not just saying it's fast. They're positioning it as like the benchmark for high-performance nakeds. The article really hammers home things like, explosive power, razor-sharp handling, cutting-edge tech.
So who's it aimed at?
Well, clearly riders who want that adrenaline hit, whether you're navigating the city or hitting twisty rows hard. The big picture seems to be this blend of pure speed, sophistication, and just relentless performance.
Okay, let's dig into the engine then. The heart of it. It's an 1160cc liquid-cooled inline triple, 12 valves.
Right. And the numbers are pretty impressive.
Yeah, 180 horsepower at 10,750 RPM.
Right.
And 92 pound-feet of torque at 9,000 RPM. So what does that actually feel like on the road?
Well, those numbers mean serious acceleration. Blistering, as the article says.
Right.
And while that peak torque is pretty high up at 9,000 RPM, the thing about triples is they tend to give you a really broad spread of power. You get good grunt lower down, the kind of thing you like for everyday riding.
Makes it more usable.
Exactly, like a twin, almost.
Yeah.
But then it just keeps building, rushes towards that top end like a four-cylinder. It's kind of the best of both worlds. Plus, the article mentions that spine-tinkling exhaust note. That's a huge part of the experience, right?
Oh, definitely. It's not just numbers.
No, it's the sound, the feel. And you've got a 6-speed gearbox, quickshifter included, so you can just keep clicking through the gears, keep that power coming.
Seamless shifts, up and down.
Should be, yeah.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, they claim 51.4 millipigrams on average, which for this kind of performance is actually pretty decent.
Not bad at all. Okay, moving on to the looks, the design. The article calls it aggressive, naked, street fighter inspired. What really defines that visually?
Well, the exposed engine is key. That's classic naked bike territory. Shows off the muscle.
Right.
Then you have that muscular stance, sharp lines. It just looks poised, ready to go.
Yeah.
But it's not just pure aggression. The full LED lighting, headlight, taillight indicators gives it a really modern, almost futuristic look. And it helps with visibility, of course.
And safety, yeah.
And even the bodywork, what little there is, looks streamlined. Suggests they've thought about aerodynamics, reducing drag. It's form and function working together.
Okay, so it sounds like it's got the performance, it's got the looks. But what about the brains? The electronics package sounds pretty sophisticated. Cornering ABS, traction control, wheelie control.
Oh yeah, the full suite. And on a bike with this much power, these aren't just gimmicks. They're really important.
How so? Take cornering ABS.
Right, so cornering ABS is a huge step up from regular ABS.
Mm-hmm.
Standard ABS helps stomp wheel lock in a straight line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cornering ABS uses sensors, an IMU usually, to know you're leaned over. It understands you have less grip available, so it adjusts the braking pressure much more subtly to prevent skids, even mid-corner. It's a big confidence booster.
I can see that. And traction and wheelie control.
Basically managing that 180 horsepower. Traction control stops the rear wheel spinning up unexpectedly, especially on slippery surfaces or if you're greedy with the throttle. Wheelie control keeps the front end down under hard acceleration. Again, helps you use the power safely.
Makes sense.
Then you've got the riding modes, road, rain, sport, track. These let you customize everything. Throttle response, how much the traction control intervenes, the ABS settings. You tailor the bike to the conditions or just how you feel like riding.
And there's a TFT display.
Yep, a 5-inch full-color TFT. Shows all the essential info, obviously.
Okay.
But it also has smartphone connectivity, so you can get navigation, manage calls, music, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the command center for the bike.
Okay, impressive tech. Now let's talk about how it connects to the road. Suspension and brakes. The article mentions fully adjustable Öhlins front and rear Brembo Stylema brakes. Seems like top-shelf kit.
It absolutely is. We're talking a 43mm Öhlins NIX 30EC spool valve fork up front.
NIX 30EC, what does that mean?
Okay, so NIX is Öhlins tech. Separates compression and rebound damping circuits for more precise control. EC means electronic control. And the rear is an Öhlins TTX36 EC spool valve monoshock, also electronically controlled.
And they both use this Smart EC3 OBTI system, or Smart EC 2.0.
Yeah, same thing, just different names sometimes. Basically, it's semi-active suspension. It reads data lean angle, braking force, speed, the riding mode you're in, and constantly adjusts the damping electronically in real time.
Wow, so it adapts on the fly.
Exactly. It aims to give you the perfect balance of comfort when you want it and firm control when you're pushing hard. It's really clever stuff.
And the brakes, Brembo Stylema.
Top-tier Brembo.
Ah,
Stylema monoblock calipers up front, grabbing huge 320mm floating discs, paired with a Brembo MCS radial master cylinder.
MCS.
Multi-click system. Lets you adjust the brake lever feel and responsiveness. Radial master cylinders generally give you better feel and more power anyway. And it's all linked into the optimized cornering ABS system we talked about.
So incredible stopping power, but also safe and controllable.
That's the idea. These components aren't just fancy names. They're designed for extreme performance and track use, really.
Right. So with all this focus on performance, handling, tech, what's it like just to sit on? What about ergonomics, comfort for, normal riding?
Yeah, it's a good question. Surprisingly, the article suggests Triumph hasn't forgotten about usability. The foot pegs are mid-mounted, apparently giving a pretty natural riding position, not too extreme.
So not super crouched over?
Doesn't sound like it. And wide handlebars give you good leverage for steering, which helps around town too. The seat height is 32.7 inches, 830mm, which seems sort of middle of the road aiming for accessibility.
Okay.
It's definitely not a gold wing, but it sounds like they've tried to make it more than just a track day special. The 4.1-gallon fuel tank is decent too, should give reasonable range.
Okay, now for the big comparison. The article puts it up against the Ducati Streetfighter V4 and the KTM 1290 Super Duke are heavy hitters. How does the Triumph measure up?
This is where it gets interesting. The Ducati, for instance, actually makes more horsepower and weighs less.
So faster on paper.
Potentially, yeah, in terms of pure power to weight. But the Triumph has more torque than the Ducati. And torque is what you often feel on the street, that immediate punch. So the Triumph might feel more responsive, maybe easier to manage day to day.
Right. And the KTM?
The KTM matches the Triumph's 180 horsepower, but actually has more torque than the Triumph. Weight is pretty similar between the KTM and the Triumph.
So where does the Triumph win, according to the article?
Well, apart from that potentially smoother triple power delivery, the big standout seems to be the suspension. That Erlen Smart EC 2.0 system is highlighted as being more adaptable, more sophisticated than the Ducati setup or the KTM's WP suspension.
And price-wise?
The Triumph kind of sits in the middle. The KTM is generally a bit less expensive, and the Ducati is usually positioned as more premium, more expensive.
Okay, so let's sum up the advantages. Why pick the Speed Triple RX?
Well, first off, that engine,
Mm-hmm.
loads of power, but delivered smoothly thanks to the triple layout. Then the looks, aggressive, modern LED lights, really
You're
sharp.
out of business.
Absolutely. Then there's that advanced electronic suite, safety and performance aids working together. The premium chassis components, Erlen suspension, Brembo brakes, that's a huge draw for serious riders. And surprisingly, it seems to have decent ergonomics for everyday riding, making it pretty versatile. It's not just a one-trick pony.
Makes sense. But every bike has its compromises. What are the potential downsides someone should think about?
Good point. Firstly, the price. It's not cheap, especially compared to, say, the KTM. You're paying for that tech and those components.
Sure.
It's also slightly heavier than the Ducati, which might matter to some riders in very specific situations, maybe on track. Obviously, being a street bike, forget any off-road ambitions.
Oh, naturally.
And while the ergonomics sound okay, it's still an aggressive riding position compared to a touring bike. Might not be comfortable for everyone on really long trips. And finally, all that complex tech, especially the electronic suspension, could potentially mean higher maintenance costs down the road. Something to factor in.
Okay, let's run through those quick FAQs from the article. Price again.
$21,500 is what the article quotes.
Power and torque figures one more time.
180 horsepower, 92 pound-feet of torque from the 1160cc inline triple.
And the quick take versus the Ducati.
More torque, possibly easier power delivery on the street, and superior suspension adaptability with the Erlen Smart system.
Suspension type.
Erlen Smart EC 2.0 semi-active,
Key electronics.
cornering ABS, traction control, wheelie control, customizable riding modes, all that good stuff.
Fuel tank size.
16 liters, or about 4.1 U.S. gallons.
Is it okay for a beginner?
Probably not ideal. The electronics help manage it for sure, but 180 horsepower is a lot. Best for riders with some decent experience. Training definitely recommended if you're moving up to this level.
Right. And long distance trips.
Possible, yeah. The article suggests the comfort is there for longer rides, even if it's not a dedicated tour. You could probably manage a weekend trip okay.
All right, so bringing this all together, wrapping up our deep dive on the 2026 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RX, your final thoughts. What's the big takeaway?
For me, it's the balance. It delivers truly top-tier performance, it's packed with genuinely useful technology, and it looks fantastic. But what's maybe most impressive is that it seems to do all that while still being a reasonably usable, versatile street bike. It's not just about the extreme numbers.
Yeah, that blend seems key. Which leads to a final thought for you, the listener. When you think about high-performance naked bikes, what matters most to you? Is it the raw power, the cutting-edge tech, the handling, the price? And considering all that, how does the Speed Triple 1200 RX, with its particular blend of strengths, resonate with what you're looking for in a ride? Maybe something to chew on.
Definitely. Keep comparing. Keep thinking about your own priorities.
Absolutely. Well, that's it for this deep dive. Until next time, ride safe and stay curious.